welcome back. This is going to probably, well, this is going to be part 2 of looking around the minis, or showing you the minis that I've got in the garage. Some of you wanted to obviously see them, so I'm just going to show you what I've got. So yeah, so we have obviously Bolt, Vincent, and Charles over the back there. What I'm going to do, Bolt hasn't been started for 3 years. I have had a trickle charger on it, so I know the battery's good. I'm going to just get it turned over without the plugs on it, just to get the oil around the engine, and then I'm going to give it a start and see how we go. Once I've got it started, I'll let it run for a bit, and then I'll do a walk round on it. So yeah, I'll see you in a bit. You might want to turn the volume down a little bit when it does start. It's quite noisy, so. So the shell on this was just a K-Reg, basic, standard, just a basic Mini. I think the engine in it was an auto, but when I bought it, it didn't matter, because I only wanted the shell. I had the engine, I was putting new running gear on it, and everything was going to be new, so I just needed a better shell, because I already had a Mini, but the shell was really bad. yeah, so we went with this one. I mean, it's an amazing car to drive on track. Both me and Keith have had track days out on it. Goodwood, Brands Hatch. Obviously, initially we were both a bit green with track racing, but we soon suppose after 2 or 3 track days we got up to speed, and yeah, it's amazing. The car is amazing. Loud, very loud. Right, yeah, so let's take you through the car. So the engine, it's gone through 3 stages. Started off with a SW5 1275, and then it went, so after me and Keith had sort of got used to the car, we felt we needed more power. So the engine come out, went back to Swiftune, and they rebored it to, I think, 1310, and then put an SW10 cam in it, straight cut gears, and that's when I changed to a Weber. So before that it was on a HIF carb, or HIF44, and then I went to the Weber, and then we kind of drove that for about 18 months, and we had a little bit of a blip at Goodwood. This was probably, when was this? This was after COVID, so that was 2020. As we were going round, it didn't seem right. It lost a bit of power, and I think when I'd probably gone round one of the corners, I'd probably dropped down a gear, and the revs weren't right, and so the what are they called? The push rods. One of the push rods. Trying to think of the terminology. Sorry. It like rebounded, and it wasn't anything catastrophic. But they Nick stripped the engine down to see what the problem was, and that's what the problem was. It was one of the push rods. So we had the conversation. Well, you've got it stripped down now, haven't you? Do you want more power? And I was like, yeah, please. So we then went to 1380, and it was at that time that we decided to put in the SW23 cam, and the dog box. So it's got a full dog box. So this engine is as close to a mini Miglia engine as you can get. It is the only difference I think between this engine and a Miglia race engine is the crankshaft. But I wasn't willing to pay £3 for that, so that's the only. It's a similar horsepower and torque. But yeah, so, and at that point, so at no point have I ever, or has there ever been an engine blown up. It's always been okay. Swiftune obviously built it. They're renowned for their engine building. It was driver error, and it was a bent push rod in the end. So, and so since it's been rebuilt, I've had one track day on it. Is it one track day? One track day? No, 2 track days. And it was awesome, absolutely awesome. I've since then, since it's been in for a rebuild, it's still got the same Weber. I've just changed all the cooling system to much more of a Miglia spec. It's no longer got the ignition distributor and so on. It's got a coil pack, and yeah, so it's very tight in there. I'm not gonna lie. So when the cooling, obviously there's no radiator. This is an external fuel pump. And then behind this, I've had to sort of adapt the front grille and the front of the car, because I wanted to keep a normal mini front end, just something specific for me. So all I've done, I cut out a section of the front panel and a bit out of here, and obviously got the cooling, the radiator with the 2 fans, and then I've got an oil cooler underneath there, which again is very similar to the Miglias. It's very tight in there, very tight. I mean, there's probably 5mm between the starter motor and the radiator. Yeah, so that's it's been sitting there for 3 years, not started, and it started straight away. Wow. So yeah, it's got standard subframe, front and rear. I spent quite a lot of money on this. I put on, it's got standard suspension, red dots front and rear, but it's got some additional sort of features. I don't really want to take the wheels off. It's got a CAD big disc, and the biggest calipers they do, for 13-inch wheels. It handles very, very well. It's got Coney shocks. I've got titanium bottom arms, or top arms. No, top arms. Got titanium top arms. I mean, if you go through the actual mini build, you'll see all the bits and pieces, all the lovely bits we put on it. Obviously the boot, I've gone for it's just a fiberglass boot lid. Again, it's a Miglia type fuel tank, facet fuel pump, carbon fibre roof, or roof skin, carbon fibre arches, carbon fibre bumpers. The wheels are 13x7s. I've actually got 3 sets of wheels, so I've got those. I've got another set which has got effectively wet tyres on. They're semi-slicks. Then I've got another set of wheels over here which I bought especially to put full slicks on, but I've not had a chance to do that or go out in the Mini. So yeah, so things I wanted. So it's got a bolt-in roll cage, carbon fibre door cards, plastic windows, carbon fibre dash and pod holder. I actually went for some OBP pedal set. They're actually bolted up onto the original pedal box. We actually manufacture that, and it's got a what's his name, guy in Wales, I think it'll be his name. The steering wheel is quick release. I can't, yeah, I can. And it's actually got remote controls on it, so there's no wires, cables going to the steering wheel. Obviously full bucket seats, batteries down on the floor there. Yeah, what else to say really? It's a pretty tight car. I've got a extinguisher there, but I've actually bought a new set that like they have on the racing cars, where you have the button on the outside. It's got its I can't think what it's called now. But yeah, so it'll have its own fire suppression system. On here we've just got lights, fan, fuel. I don't actually need to touch any of them once I'm strapped in. I can't reach them anyway. You notice the gear stick is longer. So because me and Keith are quite tall, we needed the seat further back to make it more comfortable for driving, and with a standard CAD quick shift, it was almost difficult. You'd almost have to release your seatbelt slightly to give you a bit more sort of lean forward. So it's very difficult to get into first and third. So that is actually for a moke, a mini moke, CAD quick shift for a mini moke, and it's 4 inches longer, and it's a lot easier to change gear with that now. Heated front screen, heated rear screen. Yeah, that is Bolt. Any questions, please ask. Hoping to get that out next year and get it back on track.